Almost 30 years ago now, the 1989 film Batman premiered on June 19th, 1989. In that summer, Batman dominated everything. He was everywhere. People were wearing Batman, eating Batman cereal, and some were even shaving the bat symbol into their hair. This was how crazy the nation was for Batman that summer. If social media had existed in those days, Batman and that movie would have been the two top trending topics. On February 3rd, 1990, the next winter, Batman the movie tie-in video game was released by Sunsoft for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, prior to this point in history, there had been only one Batman video game for the Commodore 64, named, aptly enough, Batman the Video Game. That game, however, like most Commodore 64 games, left a lot to be desired, so the time was right for a Batman video game. That being said, most movie tie-in games prior to this touchstone moment of gaming history were, well, E.T. the video game for Atari, I'm looking at you. Not to mention, Sunsoft wasn't exactly setting the world on fire, so expectations for this game were reasonably low. But those expectations were about to be exceeded 100-fold by a game that, though it only has a slight tie to its original source material at best, is probably one of the best Batman video games of all time, and should always be included in the discussion alongside such games as the Arkham series of games and Konami's The New Adventures of Batman and Robin for the SNES. Batman the movie video game for NES. What an amazing game. I mean, where to even begin with this game? Let's start off with a look at and a breakdown of the basic gameplay of this side-scrolling platformer. The game, as I mentioned, is a side-scrolling platformer in the Metroidvania Gaiden form. Playing as Batman, you travel through 5 total levels, each comprising 3 sub-levels, to reach and fight 5 different end bosses. Those bosses are Firefly, the Machine Intelligence System, Electrocutioner, the Dual Containment Alarm, and then the Joker. Wait, what? Sorry, then Firebug. Yeah, and then the Joker. Apparently Sunsoft, when it first developed this game, made it only loosely based on the film, and Firebug was the original final boss, and you just punched Joker off the Gotham Cathedral bell tower in a cutscene. Can you imagine how disappointing that could have been? I mean, don't get me wrong, I tip my considerable Bat fan cap to Sunsoft for that deep cuts villain usage, but Firebug is a C-level member of the Batman Rogues Gallery, and the Joker is both the main villain of the film and, well, the f***ing Joker. And remember how I said Firefly was the first boss you have to beat? Well, I found a strange mystery akin to the 3 Jokers currently in the DCU with that. There is actually some who claim that that character is Killer Moth, as in Killer Moth's entry in Wikipedia and the Batman Wiki. But there are others who claim that that character is Firefly, as in Comics Alliance stage-by-stage review of the game, and also his entry in the Batman Wiki. After the end of episode 18 of Twin Peaks The Return, I can't take many more strange mysteries, so I need some help with this one. If anyone knows what the hell is going on with that, please comment in the comment section down below. Seriously. Anyways, I digress. Where was I? Oh yeah, the gameplay. So you traverse these 5 levels beating ninjas, because well, Batman should have ninjas to fight in pretty much every version of Gotham he is in. It's kind of like how Wolverine and Daredevil have to fight and constantly fight the Hand, and James Bond has to fight a cat-stroking villain every other movie. So you fight ninjas, enforcers which are just guys hovering around with jetpacks. You also face Deadshots. Wait, what? Deadshots? As in plural? As in more than one Floyd Lawton? Yes, there are multiple Deadshots, heat waves, and shakedowns throughout the levels of this game. Why, you ask? Video games. They're really just generic video game bad guys, but given that this appears to have started development as a comic book based tie-in, they are given the names of some of Batman's B and C list rogues. Hell, even the likes of Maxi Zeus and KG Beast show up. Though they really look so different from any other incarnation, it would be hard to tell that that's who they were without being told so. You fight these bad guys by punching and by using 3 primary weapons. A batarang, of course, as well as a spear gun and a dirk. They all use ammo which are left behind by defeated enemies. The other 2 items left behind by defeated bad guys are a box giving you points and hearts which refill your life bar by 1 with a max total of 8. Movement is handled by pushing the left and right buttons to walk left and right throughout the levels. You can also jump using A button, and the longer you hold the A button, the higher you jump. Speaking of jumping, one of the biggest things this game has in common with Ninja Gaiden is the wall jumping mechanism. If you jump in the direction of a wall and hit the jump button again once you make contact with the wall, you will then jump off the wall in the opposite direction. There are many levels where this mechanism is the key to making it through that level, and I personally always felt like this made this game feel that much more like being Batman. The image of the Batman sprite hanging off the wall felt like the iconic images of Batman traversing the high rises of Gotham City that I'd grown up loving. The levels are pretty much standard Castlevania, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden style levels, packed with bad guys, and the game can be usually defeated if you have a fairly good knowledge of the levels in a little under a half hour. So for the most part, it may not be the most punishingly difficult side-scroller to ever have been made into an NES cartridge, but it certainly wasn't the weakest. And if you were a 12-year-old kid playing this on his NES for the first time through, it could be controller-throwingly difficult. Which really brings me to my final thoughts on this game. For me, this review is a personal one. Batman is probably my absolute favorite fictional character. The movie the game is a tie-in to, it came out at a time when I was in my comic book collecting infancy. I had been reading comics since I could read as far as I remember. But Batman was the first character I began to buy on a regular basis and really care about. So of course when this game came out before my 12th birthday, my parents had a gift pretty much handed to them for that year. I remember when I got it, I played it repeatedly as often as I could, and I finally beat it the following summer. It took me the whole summer to do it, and many frustrating minutes mashing buttons, but I did it. And until Arkham Asylum came out, and partially because of it being a tie-in to that classic 1989 Tim Burton film, it held the top spot for me for my favorite Batman video game. It may not be in the top anymore, but I still have nothing but love and nostalgia for this game. So that has been another episode of Player Select for the 1990 NES classic Batman, the 1989 movie tie-in video game. Y'all have a good one. Come back and see us again, same bat time, same bat channel. Hey everybody, thanks for watching that episode of Player Select. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe to all of our videos. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. Check out our other videos over here to your left, my right. And if you would, make sure if you want to be notified in the future when our videos come out, you click that bell icon. Y'all have a good one. Keep watching.